Hello, welcome to English Storytelling, and stay with me for a moment before your mind decides what. Most people never notice the exact second when resistance disappears, and learning quietly begins. If you're listening now, that second has the room feels different, when nothing is expected from you. The light does not rush to fill every corner, it simply exists, resting softly on the walls as if it understands. That calm works better than brightness. The air is still, carrying no pressure, no demand. Only the quiet permission to slow down. The body settles into the moment before. The mind has time to question it. Breathing deepens naturally. Shoulders release tension they have been holding since morning, and the space inside becomes wider. Thoughts stop pushing forward and begin to drift instead, moving without direction, without urgency. English enters this space without knocking. It does not announce itself as a subject or a skill. It arrives as sound, as rhythm, as something familiar but not fully recognized. Words pass through awareness, gently, some staying, some leaving, none asking to be controlled. Outside, the world continues in its own way. A distant sound moves through the night and fades again. Somewhere a light turns off. Somewhere else, a door closes softly. None of it interrupts the quiet inside. This is where learning actually happens, though it never feels like learning. The mind listens without effort, noticing patterns without naming them, allowing meaning to form slowly, the way understanding always has. Time stretches here. Minutes lose their sharp edges. The room holds its stillness while thoughts come and go, light and unimportant. English remains present, steady and calm. Repeating itself in different shapes, different tones, never forcing itself to be remembered. The language no longer feels like something outside you. It blends into the moment, becoming part of the atmosphere, like the light, like the silence, like the steady rhythm of breathing. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to be achieved. The story continues simply because the moment continues and the mind stays open because it is not being pushed. The mind stays open when nothing is being demanded from it. It listens the way the body listens to warmth, without questions, without effort. English moves through this open space, slowly repeating itself in gentle ways, not to be memorized, but to be recognized. Thoughts appear, but they no longer rush to the front. They wait their turn. Some are about the past, small moments from the day that no longer carry weight. Some are about tomorrow, but they feel distant, unfinished, as if they know they will be dealt with later. For now, they pass quietly. The room holds everything without reacting. The chair, the table, the light, all remain exactly where they are. Nothing changes, and yet the feeling inside continues to soften. This is how familiarity grows, not through effort, but through presence. English begins to feel less like a sound coming from outside and more like something forming gently inside. Sentences appear without being built. Words connect without being chosen. The mind follows the meaning without stopping to analyze how it arrived there. Outside, the night deepens. The world grows quieter, not because it has stopped, but because it has learned to move more softly. Sounds arrive less often now. When they do, they feel far away, unimportant, unable to disturb what has settled inside. The body rests more fully. Muscles release one by one. Breathing becomes slow, and even. The space between breaths feels wider, calmer. Nothing is missing. Nothing is needed. This is where understanding dot lives, not in explanation, not in repetition forced by discipline, but in moments where dot the mind feels safe enough to stop defending itself. Language does not need dot to fight to enter when the door is already open. English continues to move, describing simple things. The room, the light, the quiet, the feeling of being here. Each idea returns in a slightly different form, allowing recognition to deepen without pressure. Time no longer feels important. Minutes stretch without being counted. The story does not rush forward. It stays exactly where it needs to be, letting meaning settle naturally.
The mind drifts closer to rest, but listening remains. Even as thought's slow awareness stays present. This is the space where learning becomes effortless, where nothing is pushed and nothing is lost.
English stays with you here, calm, patient, familiar, and the night continues. The night feels deeper now, not darker, but fuller, as if it has gathered everything it needs and decided to stay still for a while. The room remains unchanged, yet the feeling inside it grows softer, quieter, more settled. Nothing moves quickly anymore. Even time seems to have slowed its pace, choosing to walk instead of run. English stays present without asking for attention. It no longer feels new, and it no longer feels distant. It feels like a low sound in the background, always there, steady and calm. Words come and go, not demanding to be remembered, only passing through, leaving behind a sense of familiarity that cannot be forced. The mind notices small details now, things that usually disappear under noise and hurry. The weight of the body against the chair, the gentle warmth of the light, the quiet space between sounds. These details do not ask to be understood. They simply exist, and the mind accepts them without question. Thoughts slow even more. Some fade before they fully form. Others stay briefly, then dissolve. There is no need to follow them. There is no need to stop them. This quiet acceptance makes everything lighter. English moves with this rhythm. It describes what is simple, what is real, what is already happening. There is no effort to make it impressive. There is no need to explain. Meaning forms naturally, like a reflection appearing on still water. Outside, the world feels far away now. The city continues its life somewhere beyond the walls, but it has no power here. Its sounds are distant, softened by space and time. Inside, the quiet holds firm. The body relaxes further, sinking into stillness. Breathing becomes slow, and deep, steady, and effortless. Each breath feels complete, on its own, not rushing toward the next. This calm rhythm carries the language gently, allowing it to settle without resistance. Learning no longer feels like something that happens. It feels like something that stays, a quiet presence, a familiar tone, a sense of ease that did not exist before but now feels natural. English repeats itself in subtle ways. Ideas return, wearing slightly different shapes. Familiar words appear in new arrangements. The mind recognizes them without effort, without surprise. This recognition is quiet, almost invisible, but it is real. Time continues to pass, but it no longer matters how much. The story does not move toward an ending. It moves through a moment, stretching it gently, allowing it to become wide enough to hold calm, understanding, and rest at the same time. The night accepts everything without judgment. It does not ask who you are or where you are going. It does not ask how much you know, it simply holds the space, allowing you to remain exactly as you are. English remains with you steady and patient, repeating itself softly, shaping familiarity, without pressure. It does not leave when attention drifts. It stays when thoughts fade. It waits when silence grows longer. And the quiet continues to deepen, not into emptiness, but into something warm and complete, something that does not need to be named, to be felt. Eventually, the night begins to loosen its hold, not suddenly, not with noise, but with a quiet understanding that nothing more is needed. The room remains still, yet the stillness feels different now. It feels familiar, as if it has been lived in, as if something has settled gently and decided to stay. English is no longer moving, it is resting. It sits inside the mind the way a memory sits, present without effort, clear without needing attention. There is no desire to analyze it, no need to repeat it. It belongs here now. The body is calm in a deep, honest way. Not tired, not alert, just at ease. Breathing continues slowly, naturally. Each breath complete on its own. Thoughts no longer try to form sentences. They no longer try to lead anywhere, they simply fade, one by one, leaving space. Behind them, outside, the world is preparing to change again. Somewhere, far away, a sound appears and disappears. Somewhere light will return soon, but none of that needs to be faced yet. This moment is still whole. The story has already done its work, not by teaching, not by explaining, but by staying long enough for familiarity to grow, by allowing the language to exist without pressure, without fear, without force. This is how something becomes part of you, not through effort, but through presence. Not through repetition that exhausts, but through calm that remains. Nothing needs to be remembered consciously. Nothing needs to be saved. What mattered has already settled quietly in a place that does not forget. The night releases you gently, without pushing you forward. Whether sleep comes now or wakefulness stays, it no longer matters. The space inside is calm either way. And when you return to English, again tomorrow or another night, it will not feel distant. It will feel familiar, like a place you have already been, like a voice you already know. The quiet holds for a moment, longer, then slowly opens, allowing whatever comes next to arrive in its own time. And that is enough.